I learned a lot from Cam, more than I've learned from anyone in my life so far. When I first moved to Hollis in 2004, Cam and his dad were two of the first people I remember meeting. They showed up one day in my driveway, and Cam was riding on his bike, so I decided to grab mine, and he challenged me to wheelie and power sliding competitions in the driveway while our parents talked, and he said he won all of them, but I thought I was pretty good. I was homeschooled, so I had a lot of time to practice. But he had a natural drive to be the best at whatever he did. It didn't matter what it was. If you liked it, he would invest time and a lot of money to become the best he could. He rarely was bad at anything, but when he was, he wouldn't let it get to him. He would simply just have fun with it. For example, last year, I successfully managed to get him to play lacrosse, and he was on the fence for a while because some of the equipment was pretty expensive, even though not as expensive as hockey. But then he proceeded to buy literally the most expensive shaft, Flex for some reason, along with a top-of-the-line head and a special mesh that didn't need to be broken in, all coming to around $300 only for a stick. After he had made this purchase with whoever's money it was, every day after school, all I wanted to do was shoot at my house because I had a net. I tried to coach him with what little knowledge I knew of lacrosse because it was only my second year playing. But he had seen a video of this guy named Paul Rabel on YouTube, who had the hardest shot in lacrosse. And it was like a video that broke down his shot, and you could see how he shot. And that's all he wanted to do was the Paul Rabel shot. So after so many attempts to get him to shoot right, I just joined in with him and started doing the Paul Rabel shot. And we lost many lacrosse balls. But he was a perfectionist at the things he enjoyed to do. One of his favorite snacks that he introduced me and a lot of his other friends to was Annie's mac and cheese. The shells, the original ones, of course. And whenever you made it with him, you knew that your job was to cook the pasta, and he would take care of the sauce. He spent longer than he should have, making sure that every single little bump had been removed from the mixture. The shells themselves would always get cold by the time you put them back in the pot to mix with the sauce. But it was by far the best sauce you would ever taste coming from a box of mac and cheese. It's hard to believe that less than a week ago, this past Saturday, I was in his kitchen with him making pasta after a successful day of helping set up the Hollis rink with some of the hockey team, and also it was a successful day for the start of the new mini hockey season. Some of the players that helped set up the rink came to play with us. But because we were running low on the Annie's reserve, we had to settle with Kraft, which was terrible. This kind of perfectionism and appreciation for what he loved is not something that could be obtained through repetition. It was something that you could see and feel when you were around him. This was very noticeable if you got the chance to witness his obsession with building jumps. I first saw this after I got my dirt bike in 2008, which he convinced me to get, and after saving up over $800 with some financial help from my parents, I was able to get one. And it was the best purchase I ever made. We built jumps in my backyard with occasional help from the riding crew of Cam Blake, Dave LeClaire, Travis Howard, and myself, and soon to include the new kid on the street, Jeremy Ide. We built jumps with only shovels, in my backyard at least. They're pretty sketchy, being only about 4 feet wide and 3 feet tall, but sending you almost 20 feet across the yard with only about 5 feet of air. His later professional grade jumps would be sculpted at the track of Jeremy Ide. His jump building didn't stop at just dirt bikes, though. He built jumps for snowboarding, BMX, and even for his unnecessarily fast RC car. And David, Travis, Cam, Jeremy, and everyone else that built jumps with him will tell you that you'd spend more time making the jumps perfect than you would going off of them, which, if he would even let you help him build the jumps. And if he didn't, you would be the one to test them out for him. But eventually I accepted my role as a test dummy and volunteered. Cam I'm not going to say was the nicest person I knew, but he was one of my favorite people ever. He would talk about people, to their face or not, he didn't really care. And he teased a lot of people, and sorry, one second. He teased a lot of people, made fun of people, but his goal was never to hurt people, unless occasional, the making fun of DJ Caldog, also known as Cody Calzini, became a few times. He might have gone a bit too far. But his goal rather was to cheer up people around him and make people laugh, which he was extremely good at. He was by far the funniest person I knew. And although he might not have been the nicest kid, he was one of the greatest people I ever had the chance to meet and spend much time with in my short life so far. And I feel blessed to have had the opportunity to get to know him in such a way. There's no doubt that Cam was one of the most influential people in my life so far. Coming from being homeschooled and hanging out with mostly only other homeschooled kids, Cam was vastly different than my usual friends. He preferred going outside, and my homeschooled friends preferred to, read books.
That's not true.
He preferred to build jumps and not wear his helmet on his bike when his parents told him to. But my homeschooled friends would never do such a thing. They preferred smooth pavement rather than dirt. And at the beach, he would run down and kick up the sand, making the sound of a YZ-85 while looking back at the sand as he ran. And my other friends would rather swim in the freezing waters with goggles and earplugs. But I hated reading, and my helmet was uncomfortable anyways, and pretending to ride a dirt bike was more fun than getting hypothermia. So I preferred Cam rather than my other friends. He showed me how to have fun and do what made me happy, and he helped me to conquer my fears, and pretty much forced me to. He convinced me to do a lot of stupid things. One of the most idiotic was something that happened right before last summer in early June.
Yeah.
After a post-school trampoline session at Jeremy's house, Cam offered to tow me home on the side of his truck on my ripstick. A fantastic idea. I grabbed onto the inside of the car and the handle, and he drove. And we safely made it past my house and up a slight hill to the top of my road so he could turn around and head back to his home, and I could just let go and go into my driveway. Yeah. And on the way down, we were going really fast, so I asked Cam, how fast are we going? To which he replied, 40. I then said bye and thanks for the tow. And I let go of the truck. I rode a couple hundred feet, going faster than anyone should go on a ripstick. And I soon faced the dilemma of turning into my driveway, which was a sharper turn than I had remembered. Not wanting to hit the mailbox, light post, or my sister's fairly new car, I decided to turn hard, but hit a conveniently placed patch of sand and fell, receiving a gash in my elbow and scrapes on my lower back, most of which are scars now. After the fall, once inside, I received a text from Cam saying, "Hey, sorry, I saw you fell, but I forgot to stop." Are you okay? That was classic Cameron. Cam had a huge impact on my life and all the lives of his close friends and anyone who had the privilege to get to know him. And although he got under a lot of people's skin and annoyed some people tremendously, he was an amazing person who I loved as a brother and will never forget. He was named after Cameron Neely, who wore the number 8 and was also Cam's favorite hockey player. He wore number 8 whenever he could, and no matter what team he played for, he'll always be number 8 to me. He was an amazing person, and I'll miss him very much. But this is a celebration of his life and of a kid that you only meet once in a lifetime. We can't change the past no matter how much we wish we could. What we all need to see is how many lives he really did touch and how he brought this community together in such a way I didn't think was even possible. Cam loved life and lived life how he wanted to live it. He did things with a passion like nobody else, and we could all learn from him. He was a great friend to many, and I'll never have a friend like him again. Thank you.